Imagine being the leader of a nation and walking alone into a dark forest, knowing you might not come back. The night was quiet and heavy. The capital city lights were far behind when President Ibrahim Traoré sat inside an unmarked military truck. He wasn't traveling as a leader today. He wasn't giving orders from a safe room. He was going straight into danger with only 2 guards beside him. And only 3 people in the entire government even knew he was gone. For weeks, secret reports had been arriving. Strange people hiding in the forests. Illegal hunters smuggling gold and weapons. Dark paths being used to plan a future rebellion. Ibrahim kept hearing one thing in his heart. If I don't see the truth with my own eyes, my country might fall into the same trap again. So he decided to go himself. He wore the simple uniform of a normal soldier. No badges, no rank showing, nothing special. Only a gun, determination, and a heart full of worry for his people. The truck drove over dirt roads until it reached a place where no vehicle could enter. From here on, they had to walk. The moon hid behind heavy clouds. The forest was dark and cold. Tall trees stood like quiet giants. Only crickets made tiny sounds in the distance. Ibrahim stepped deeper into the woods with his 2 guards close behind. Something in the air felt different, still, heavy, almost as if the forest itself was trying to warn them. Suddenly, Ibrahim raised his hand, signaling everyone to stop. Bang! A loud gunshot cut through the silence. His 2 guards collapsed instantly without even a sound. Before Ibrahim could aim his gun, something hard struck the back of his head. The world spun, turned black, and swallowed him whole. When he finally opened his eyes, sunlight peeked through the leaves, warm on his face. But he couldn't move. His arms and shoulders were tightly tied to a giant tree. The ropes were thick, rough, and painful. His wrists were swollen. His throat felt dry and weak. The forest around him was completely silent. No voices. No footsteps. Only the quiet smell of burnt wood and an empty fire pit nearby. Whoever attacked him had left before sunrise. Ibrahim closed his eyes and whispered, "My lord, I did all this for my people. Now only you can help me." He tried to move, but the ropes only cut deeper into his skin. His muscles shook with pain. Hunger and exhaustion washed over him like waves. But his heart still refused to break. Then he heard something. A rustle. A heavy one. The sound of branches moving. Something large was approaching through the trees. Ibrahim lifted his head. A shape appeared. Brown giant, powerful. A bear. A wild bear was walking straight toward him. But this was no ordinary bear. And what happened next would change his entire life. What if the very creature walking toward you in the darkest moment was someone you once saved without even knowing how important it would become? The huge brown bear moved slowly out of the thick bushes. Its steps were heavy. Its breath came out in loud, warm puffs. Every time its feet touched the ground, the earth seemed to tremble a little. Ibrahim felt his heart pound in his chest. He knew what a wild bear could do. A hungry, free-roaming bear was one of the most dangerous animals in the forest. And he was tied, helpless, no weapon, no chance to run. The bear came closer. Ibrahim held his breath. But then, something strange happened. The bear did not attack. It didn't growl. It didn't bare its teeth. Instead, it stopped and sniffed the air around Ibrahim. Its eyes didn't look angry at all. They looked calm, curious, almost gentle. The bear stepped closer and touched the rope with its paw. The rope shook a little, but didn't break. Then the bear lowered its head and bit the rope, pulling hard. Ibrahim's eyes widened. Why is it doing this? Is it trying to help me? The bear pulled again. The rope stretched, creaked, almost snapped, but still held tightly. Then Ibrahim saw something that made his breath catch. A long scar, deep, old, familiar, ran down the bear's side. He had seen that exact scar before. His mind rushed back 3 years. To a small, injured bear cub he had found in the forest. Its leg was wounded, bleeding. Ibrahim had cleaned the wound, bandaged it, fed the cub, and stayed with it all night. He had named him Reach because the little bear kept reaching its paw toward him. Now, that same cub, grown huge and strong, was standing right in front of him. "This is him," Ibrahim whispered, tears suddenly burning in his eyes. "Reach, you came back." The bear pulled the rope again, harder this time. His breath grew heavy. His body shook with effort. Every tug seemed to say, "I remember you. I haven't forgotten what you did for me." But before the rope could break, a terrifying howl echoed across the forest. Then a second, then a third. Wolves. Not one, Not two. A whole pack. The bear instantly lifted its head. Its ears stood straight. Its eyes filled with pure alertness. From the shadows of the trees, 6 wolves emerged. Big, hungry, their eyes glowing yellow, their teeth sharp and dripping. They slowly circled Ibrahim and the bear, moving like trained hunters. The air grew colder. The forest fell silent. Even the wind seemed to stop. Ibrahim tried again to loosen the rope, but it wouldn't move. His hands were bleeding. His arms were weak, but fear pushed him to keep trying. The wolves lowered their bodies, preparing to attack. And Reach, the bear, stepped in front of Ibrahim, blocking him completely with his own body. He let out a roar so powerful that birds flew out of the trees. But the wolves didn't run. Not today. They moved in together. And in the next moment, a battle began that no one on earth would ever believe. Sometimes the most powerful battles are not fought by armies, but by a single protector standing between danger and someone they love. The wolves spread out fast. Their eyes glowed like tiny fires in the dark. Their teeth flashed each time they opened their mouths. They were hungry, angry, and ready to hunt. Ibrahim felt his heartbeat in his ears. He pulled the rope again and again, even though it burned his skin and made his wrists bleed. But the rope would not move. Reach, the bear who once was a small cub, stood tall in front of him. His body was wide enough to completely block the wolf's view of the tied man behind him. He growled a deep, thunderous growl that made the trees shake. Still, the wolves didn't stop moving. Their leader, a big wolf with a long scar on his face, stepped forward. He made a short, sharp growl. It wasn't loud, but it was a command. The attack began. 2 wolves ran from the left, 3 from the right. One came straight toward Reach's face. They were trying to confuse him, trying to come from all sides at once. Reach reacted like lightning. He swung his massive paw, and his claws hit one wolf in the jaw. The wolf fell back with a painful scream. Dust rose into the air, but the others kept coming. Another wolf leaped onto Reach's back, trying to bite his neck. Reach twisted his body and slammed his back against a tree, knocking the wolf off. But before he could catch his breath, one wolf grabbed his leg. Its teeth sank deep into Reach's thigh. The forest filled with the sound of pain. Ibrahim felt tears rise in his eyes. Reach, God protect you, he shouted, even though his voice was weak. Reach roared so loudly that the birds flew from the trees. With a powerful swipe, he hit the wolf on his leg and sent it rolling across the forest floor. But Reach was bleeding now. His breath was faster, harder. He was getting tired. Yet he did not step back. Ibrahim kept pulling on the rope until his arms went numb. His whole body shook, but he didn't stop trying. "Oh my lord, you sent him to save me. Please help him," he whispered. The wolves regrouped. Their feet pressed into the dirt. Their eyes narrowed. The leader wolf growled again, louder this time. A signal. They attacked all at once. Reach rose on his back legs, twice the size of any wolf, and slammed both paws down in front of him. The ground shook. One wolf jumped, trying to bite his throat. Reach caught it in midair and threw it aside. But the others kept coming. 5 against 1. Wounded or not, Reach fought like a guardian, like something more than an animal, like a protector chosen for this moment. The forest turned into a storm of roars, growls, and dust. Then, for the first time, the leader wolf charged straight at Reach. Ibrahim felt his blood run cold. If the leader reached the bear, everything could end. And just when it seemed the wolves would win, something unbelievable was about to happen. When all hope seems gone, sometimes help appears in a way no human could ever imagine. The leader wolf rushed forward with full speed, teeth shining, eyes burning. The other wolves followed right behind him. The air felt sharp. Every leaf in the forest seemed to freeze. Ibrahim pulled the rope again as hard as he could, but it cut deeper into his skin. His arms felt like fire. He knew he could not break free in time. Reach stood firm, even though his body was bleeding. His breathing was rough, but his eyes were filled with a strange strength, like he wasn't just fighting with muscle, but with heart. The leader wolf leaped. Reach lifted one heavy paw and hit the wolf midair. The blow was so strong that the wolf spun and crashed into the dirt. The ground shivered. The other wolves hesitated for a moment, but hunger and desperation pushed them forward again. 3 wolves circled from behind. 2 moved toward Reach's wounded leg. They knew where to strike. Ibrahim felt helpless. "My lord, please don't let him fall," he whispered. Reach roared again, louder than before. The roar echoed across the mountains. It didn't sound like normal. It sounded deeper, stronger, almost like it carried power from somewhere beyond nature. The wolves froze, just for a second. And in that second, something changed. Reach's entire posture shifted. His body seemed to grow heavier, steadier, stronger. Even though blood dripped from his wounds, he lifted himself like a mountain rising. He slammed his paw down, and dust shot into the air. One wolf backed away. Another hesitated. Only the leader wolf kept coming. He snarled and jumped again. This time, Reach didn't step back. He charged forward. Bear and wolf collided with a force that shook the ground. The wolf bit Reach's shoulder. Reach growled and pushed him away. They clashed again and again, until finally the wolf staggered back, panting, weakened. For the first time, fear entered the leader wolf's eyes. He looked at his pack. He growled, not to attack, but to retreat. One by one, the wolves stepped back. Then they turned. Their bodies vanished into the dark trees, their footsteps fading into silence. The forest finally breathed again. Reach fell onto his side, exhausted. His chest rose and fell slowly. Blood stained the ground beneath him. Ibrahim's heart broke. "Reach, my son, my friend," he whispered. He pulled at the rope with one last burst of strength. Something snapped. One knot loosened. Another slipped. And finally, the rope gave way. Ibrahim fell to the ground, weak, dizzy, but free at last. He crawled toward Reach, each movement burning his muscles. He touched the bear gently. "I'm here, stay with me," he whispered. Reach opened his eyes. Soft, tired, but full of trust. Then Ibrahim saw something shocking, something lying in the leaves nearby. Something the attackers left behind. A bag. A weapon. A clue. Something that would change everything he thought he knew about who attacked him. And what Ibrahim discovered next would reveal a secret bigger than the attack itself. Sometimes the truth doesn't shout. It hides quietly, waiting for the right moment to change everything. Ibrahim reached for the bag lying in the leaves. His hands were shaking, not from fear, but from exhaustion. His fingers were swollen and bleeding from the rope. Still, he dragged the bag closer and opened it slowly. Inside it were things he didn't expect. First, a small black device. Not something hunters would carry. Not something ordinary criminals would use. It was a military tracker. Then he pulled out a folded map, dirty, torn, and marked with red lines. Those lines showed secret routes through the forest. Paths no normal person would know. Hidden places used for smuggling gold, weapons, and information. But the most shocking thing was at the bottom of the bag. A patch. A symbol. A sign of a military group from inside his own country. His heart dropped. This wasn't just an attack. This wasn't random. This was planned. Someone inside the system, someone with power, wanted him gone. Ibrahim breathed deeply, fighting the dizziness in his head. He looked at Reach, who lay quietly on the ground, wounded but alive. "They didn't just want to stop me," he whispered. "They wanted to hide something much bigger." He checked the rest of the bag. There were bullets, radio equipment, and a notebook filled with strange notes, coded messages, and names. But one name made his hands freeze. A name he trusted. A name close to him. Someone he thought would never betray him. His chest tightened. The forest felt colder. Reach let out a soft growl, almost sensing Ibrahim's pain. Ibrahim closed the bag and wiped his face with his shaking hand. "My lord," he whispered, "you saved me for a reason. I must get out of this forest alive, even if walking hurts. Even if I can barely stand." He looked down at Reach again. The bear's eyes were half closed, but still warm, still trusting. "You saved me once," Ibrahim said softly. "Now let me save you." He opened a small first aid kit he found in the hunter's things. He cleaned Reach's wounds, even though the bear growled lightly from the sting. Ibrahim worked slowly, gently, speaking to him in a calm voice. At last, the bleeding stopped. The sun was starting to set. Long shadows stretched across the forest floor. The air grew colder again. Ibrahim knew he had only a few hours of light left. He had to move. He had to find a way back. He had to tell the truth to his people. As he stood up, weak, shaking, but determined, Reach lifted his head and touched Ibrahim's shoulder with his nose. A goodbye, a thank you, a promise. Ibrahim took one last look at the map, the hidden paths, the traitor's name. Then he froze, because he noticed something he hadn't seen before. A red circle, drawn around a place he had not expected. A place dangerously close to his own headquarters. What was waiting for him there was far more shocking than the attack itself. Sometimes the biggest miracles don't happen in silence. They echo across the whole world. Ibrahim studied the map again. The red circle near his own headquarters bothered him. It meant the people who planned his attack had been working close. Too close. Maybe someone inside the government had been watching him, tracking his steps, waiting for the right moment to strike. His heart felt heavy. Betrayal always hurts more when it comes from people you trust. But Ibrahim looked down at Reach, the bear who survived a battle meant for wolves. That alone reminded him that goodness always returns, even when humans fail you. He knelt beside Reach one last time, touching his head gently. "My friend," he whispered, "you protected me when no human did. God sent you to remind me that kindness never dies." Reach slowly stood up, even though he was hurting. The bear gave Ibrahim one last soft growl, as if saying farewell, then turned and disappeared into the forest. His huge body melted between the trees, leaving only silence and memory behind. Ibrahim felt tears in his eyes, but he wiped them away. Now was not the time to break. Now was the time to rise. He picked up the bag of evidence, held the map tight, and began walking, step by step, painful, slow steps. His legs trembled, his wounds burned, but he kept moving, because he knew this truth. If he didn't reach his people in time, the country would fall into darkness. Hours passed. The sun rose. His clothes were dirty, his body weak, but finally, he reached a road. Moments later, a patrol group spotted him. Their eyes filled with tears as they ran to him. "Mr. President, we thought you were gone." But Ibrahim only shook his head. "God protected me," he said, "and I have something important to tell you." They brought him back to the capital. Doctors rushed to him, ministers cried, soldiers saluted. But Ibrahim didn't rest. As soon as he had enough strength to stand, he asked for a press conference. The room fell silent when he entered. "I am alive," he said, "not because of my guards, not because of my strength, but because 3 years ago, I chose to save a small animal, and God turned that same creature into my shield." People gasped. Some covered their mouths. Many cried. He showed the bag, the map, the proof of betrayal, the truth no one expected. "This attack wasn't from strangers," he said. "It was from people who lost fear of God. But let this be clear. Kindness is stronger than evil. Mercy is stronger than violence. And God's justice will always win." His words traveled across the world. Media called it a miracle. Scholars called it divine protection. Children drew pictures of Ibrahim and the bear. People everywhere repeated one message: goodness always returns. Months later, the forest site became a memorial. People visited to pray, reflect, and learn. And sometimes, just sometimes, visitors said they heard a soft growl in the distance, as if Reach still walked there, watching, guarding, remembering. And so, one night in a dark forest, one moment of mercy, became a light that changed a leader, saved a nation, and touched hearts across the world. Because no matter where you live, no matter who you are, one truth remains.